Hi, Elisha. Thank you, and welcome to Mindful Conversations. I have Elisha Rock here with me, and I'm super excited to have him over. And I'm just grateful that he made the time for this. Thank you, Elisha, for being here.
Good to
How are
see
you?
you. Thank
Good to
you.
see you too.
Yes.
So I know we started the conversation a little bit yesterday when we were setting up, time and everything. But I wanted to ask you about your book, the book that you wrote.
Well, I wrote a book called The Fine Art of Romance, a bachelor's handbook, and this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, really is a book to help men, to become more authentic uh, when they date. We're
Okay.
in a different dating climate with social media and the dating apps, and I think there's some things that get lost in translation, and I think that the way that men present themselves, it's easy for swipe right, swipe left to become merely transactional. But there's so much more to the evolution of courtship, and even in the beginning of the process, being more straightforward and
Mm.
authentic about what you desire from whatever dating app you may choose to use. I think that's becomes a slippery slope, and it's kind of muddy for people to decipher one's intentions. And I think it goes both ways for women and for men. But this was an homage to men to say, hey guys, if you want to attract a certain kind of woman, and you deem yourself to be a leader, provider, protector, alpha male, which is the mindset that I'm speaking
Mm.
to, there's some things that you might want to think about so that you create more harmony in your relationships and you leave women better off than they were before without losing yourself.
Wow. I love that. That is so, so true and so powerful and so mindful. It's like the mindful way of dating.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't have to, and I absolutely agree with you. I never really did dating apps until recently.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like, it's better just to go up there and be straightforward and be honest and just show up for what you really want, and ask those questions. I feel like, if somebody is in a dating app, it's because they want to date, right? Because they're looking for someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think asking those questions, not necessarily to put the other person into like pressure, but just asking those questions to know what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want from this relationship. Is it that you just looking for, companionship? Are you looking for long-term relationship, or are you just looking to just have fun for now? You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And for women, as a woman, for my point of view as a woman, it's like we respect so much more when a man is just straightforward like that.
Mm-hmm.
When a man just tells you with honesty, you know what, I'm not in the place right now for this and this, but I would like to do this and this.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much easier, makes things, there's no pressure, there's no anxiety in the
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Because I've seen that a lot with, not just women, but men also, that you get into a relationship, you jump into a relationship, and then you start creating this dream life with this person, right? And then all of a sudden, it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because, you guys were not in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it wasn't his fault. It's just like we didn't really ask those questions. And it might be the questions that maybe they're a little uncomfortable at the beginning, but I feel that is super important if it's something that you're, it just makes things a lot easier when it comes to the dating, the dating life.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think?
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree totally.
So what is it for you as a man? What does it take for a man to be a real man when he's looking for that real woman?
Well, I think authenticity is huge, and understanding alpha mindset. When
Hmm.
I say alpha mindset, I think that gets misconstrued. Um, Alpha mindset is a man, number one, who's on his purpose. He knows why he's here, and he's on the mission to fulfilling God's plan for his life. So that's number one. If a guy is lazy, if he doesn't know who he is, if he doesn't, if he's making a lot of choices that are not in the best interest of himself and his family, then that person is not a true king. So, and alpha does not mean because you earn a lot of money that you're an alpha. Uh, it's not the possessions that you own. That doesn't make you a true alpha king. It's who you are. It's who you are, and it's how you stand in the world as a person on purpose. And you are self-sufficient. You are independent, right? You don't need a woman to validate who you are. You are grounded in your masculinity. I am talking about alpha heterosexuality, because that's what I know.
Mhm.
That's what I am. And a lot of men are beta in their mindset. They are looking for a woman to save them. They are not on their purpose. They're not fit. They're not taking care of their body temple. They are not practicing meditation and mindfulness and prayer. And so they may not have a spiritual life. So, it's about being a whole, they may not be educated, self-educated. You may not have gone to an Ivy League school, but you know what? There are books all around us. So whatever you don't know, you can learn. We have a great World Wide Web. You can learn. So for a person who's not ambitious and has goals, that's a beta. That's not a king. So that is the essence. And I know men who have a lot of money, but they're betas because they're looking for the money or the things to give them validation. Money doesn't give you validation. A Ferrari doesn't give you validation. But if you are already validated and you have money, fantastic. Now you can use that money to be of service to yourself, your family, and people who need it. And having nice things, fantastic, as long as the things don't own you. So that's where the balance and the understanding of where all of these things exist. Now, let's talk about where a woman fits into all of this. Well, a woman is not just a wonderful companion that helps to make our lives whole in terms of an added benefit to our lives when we connect with queens. But that is not something you need for validation or need to have for self-confidence. And so when you don't look for that to fill some kind of void, you can attract that into your life, a woman into your life who earns her position in your life. It's not just freely given that, she can just be a part of your kingdom, be a part of your world, nor should it be freely given on her end, right? Because she's creating her own world. So it's when those worlds meet, when it's earned, meaning she's who she needs to be, right? She's bringing all that she needs to bring to the table that is a match. And also she understands the difference between female and masculine energy.
Oh my
And
God, I'm so
right,
glad you mentioned that. Yes.
huge. It's huge because I'm not interested in. I'm straight. I'm not
Mhm.
interested in dating a guy. If I was gay, it'd be different, but I'm not. I'm straight. So I want to date a woman. I want the balance of female energy.
Mhm.
So when I run into women who are so connected to their masculine and they have no balance with masculine and feminine, I understand
Mhm.
that, heterosexual men have feminine energy,
Right. Well, we
but
both have the masculine and feminine
don't have the
energy.
masculine exactly.
Yeah.
But when it's
Yeah.
out of balance,
Right.
and that is what the second wave of feminism, I believe, has. There's great things. I mean, I believe in the
Oh,
essence of
absolutely.
feminism, but I believe that there can be uh, um, there can be, and my words are very specific here because I don't want people to misconstrue. There can be uh, a pendulum swung
Yes.
to where women are on a far side of masculinity with the intent to compensate for that which they are not receiving in comparison to men.
Mm-hmm.
Just because a woman may not be receiving the kind of advancements or the kind of accolade, the kind of career, affirmations that men tend to receive in a male-dominated society, doesn't mean that she should lose or feel forced to lose her femininity, because she can acquire all of these things, but she, in my opinion, will find it very difficult to attract a true king who's not who will celebrate her ambition. A true king will celebrate her ambition, and a true king will
Really?
say, I want you to get what the market will demand for your talents and your gifts and your abilities. However, I want a feminine queen. And so go out there and slay it and do the things out in the world. But in this human dynamic with my male masculine and your feminine, divine feminine, there needs to be a balance because we are different. I mean, let's
Oh,
just face it.
absolutely.
We're not.
Yes. Yes, and I completely agree with you. And we could probably have a full conversation about feminine and masculine energy because I've been there before. And I would say, in my case, the reason why there was trauma behind that. And so when you understand that trauma behind that why you embrace so much of the masculine energy, it's because you at some point of your life you felt so under power
Yes.
that you are like really trying to compensate from
Yes.
being that underdog.
Yes.
And whether it was in a relationship, whether it was as a kid, or or just the fact that we are a woman and that we live in a man world, right? So you're trying to compensate so hard with it, and yes, I mean, there is a lot of things good about having a masculine energy because the nature of it does help you to fulfill a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that force that kind of gives you that go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
yes, there is a lot of drive, right? So there is a lot of women out there in the business world, in the entrepreneur world, where they are such go-getters, and you do see a lot of that masculine energy right there. But like you said, it wasn't until I embraced my feminine energy that I really felt that I was just building myself up
Mm-hmm.
so much faster. Because before I was embracing too much of my masculine energy, so I was completely unbalanced. I
Mm-hmm.
was not balanced at all,
Mm-hmm.
and I was dating, and I kept asking myself, why is it not working?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I, I'm being honest here, because I was making the men that I was dating, I was making them feel emasculated.
Yeah. And it happens consciously and
Yeah,
unconsciously. What women don't
exactly.
understand is that the unconscious
Right.
emasculation that's happening.
Right.
And guys, here's the thing. When it happens to a lot of men, they don't know what's happening. They don't call it that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't
They don't want to.
They don't
They
know
don't want to.
what it is.
They don't want to call it that. No.
Yeah. Well, they don't even know what it is. But they know how it makes them feel. Okay. So when they know what it is, they can call it out. Like I've been in situations where I've called it out. I've said, darling, that is emasculating behavior. And I just want to call that out. You may or may not be aware, but I want to call out what just happened and how that made me feel. Now, this person didn't seem like they were acutely aware, right? So that's the empathy that we men have to have who know, right? But there's a huge pool of us who don't even know that we're doing this to each other. And men, they unconsciously belittle. They unconsciously belittle or make a woman feel less than because of his identification to his male ego, right?
Absolutely.
And so he may take on this personification of alpha ego, which is not at all what I'm discussing, right? I'm talking about awareness, consciousness, elegant heart, the adoration of a female, and the love of a woman and her femininity. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a huge issue. And when you see an imbalance where a woman has adopted a masculine frame and then the relationship has adopted her masculine frame, you are in for turbulent waters. It's going to be
because there is no balance. It's like you have your masculine energy and she also brings in more masculine energy. So it's really like, it doesn't really work.
Yeah. So someone has to concede, right? Someone's going to have to concede because you can't have that. It's too combustible. Either won't work or one person will have to concede. And in many cases, the man concedes, meaning he becomes less than. And so this is the perpetuating cycle. Yes. He becomes less than, he becomes no good. Then that defeatism continues to plague his mind, his actions, his consciousness. Now he is not living up to his manhood, so he's needs to be out. And so it's his fault. And he unfortunately doesn't have of the tools to overcome that kind of ridicule. And so that's why, because he may not, if he's not doing the work on himself, then that's going to happen. There's no way that he can overcome that. Right. But when he starts to work on himself and he begins to feel more confident and he begins to become more authentic with himself, he can then resist that kind of masculine, that unbalanced masculine energy that he may receive, and bring it and neutralize it with his masculine energy and love and give her patience and love her through that so that she understands, okay, when I go here, this isn't going to help the harmony of this union. And many guys, unfortunately, the 1% of us who understand these dynamics, when we date a woman, many of us will not spend, we don't, because we're busy and we're on our purpose, we don't have the time to love a woman all the way through her growth process to get there. Right. So there are those who are on a different parts of the spectrum, right? So I can meet a woman and very quickly I can see where she is on the spectrum. how much trauma she has yet to heal before she's even ready. Even if she, in her mind, has a vision and gets conceptually what we're talking about, I can tell how much practice she's put into the process to be able to consistently remain in her feminine frame while we're in courtship. I might, know right away. I could see.
Yeah.
You know what? She's had a few experiences, but she goes in and out. Okay, well, maybe she's not ready yet. Some, right away, the idea of what we're talking about is not going to be appealing to her. So those women, and there are a lot of them, they won't even get two bases with the true alpha king, because he's like, I don't have the time for that.
Yeah.
She's wondering why, she meets a guy and then he's gone. And it's like, well, or they have a great rendezvous and he's gone because he's assessed right away too much work.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And it's true. Yeah. And I would say it is the same case in the other, from the female perspective.
Yeah.
I'm busy and I embrace my feminine energy. I love my feminine energy now that I truly love it and embrace it. It's beautiful.
Yes.
But if I meet a man that it's not in that true keen, because I call it, there's like, what is it? It's like 3 stages in a man. I don't remember the first one, but the second one is the prince, and then the third one is the king, right?
So frog, a prince, and a king.
Right?
And there's another one, the emperor.
Yeah, I forgot the name of that, the first one, third one. But if he's on that prince stage, it's like, he's cute and everything. He wants to have fun, but it is going to be work. And do I really want to work on someone as a woman? No, because I don't want a project.
Yeah. Right.
I want a partner. I want a partner.
Yeah.
I want a partner, right? It's like somebody was asking me one time. I said, well, I have a list. I have a list of the things that I'm looking in a man, right? One of the things that I put on my list is that he must know how to dance. Mm-hmm. And so I was dating this man and I said, like, I'm sorry, but you don't know how to dance. And that's on my list. So he was like, well, teach me how to dance. And I was like, dude, I paid money to learn how to dance because I wanted to learn how to dance, because I'm pushing myself to learn different things so that I can be better for my partner. And I would love a man who is making the same effort for me.
Yeah, for
right?
you. Right. Because
How easy it is that, all right, I already found the key to life. And now, this man is going to come in and just be like, well, just give me the key.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you go find your key first. And then we'll both have our keys, open it. And then, we can both like be in it together. Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing, it's like, we don't want work. We don't want a project. Mm-hmm. We want a partner. We want somebody who's going to be there with us, who we're going to go along with each other. Mm-hmm. I remember one time my daughter, I had just gone through divorce a few years before that. And I was in a relationship, broke up with this person. And so I was sitting down on the couch and my daughter came next to me. She was like, Mom, why are you so sad? And I was like, I didn't want to say anything, but I'm very open with my kids. And so I said, well, I'm a little sad because I just broke up with someone that I was dating. And she was like, oh, but why are you so sad? She's like, just think of him as your training wheels. And one day you're going to ride your bike without training wheels. And the true man, the king, that one man, is going to come to you and he's going to be riding his bike next to you, not behind you, not in front of you, next to you.
Yeah. And
you both are going to be riding your bikes without training wheels.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, what a beautiful. I was like, oh my God, like I looked at her and I was like, how old are you? And she was like 10 years old at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But what a beautiful, when it comes to like, like I usually say, like, I learn more from my children than from anything else.
Mm.
But isn't that so beautiful? That's exactly what we want. We want a partner, right?
Yeah.
We don't want a project.
Yeah.
So that's why I love your way of thinking. I love your mindset. I love the book that you wrote. I actually read it last year.
Yes.
And I mean, it's such a beautiful, such a beautiful way of thinking.
Thank you.
But there is no, it's not that there's no judgment there, because there isn't. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the judgment, because some people, and I want to make that clear, because some people might think, well, he's being judgmental or she's being judgmental, but it's not about the judgment there. It's about the level of consciousness that you have acquired to this point now, that you're looking for someone who has the same level of consciousness as you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if that's who you are, and I'll end with this, because I jump on a call, but I just say that, you attract that which you are, and if you are vibrating at a certain level, you're going to attract people on that level. And it's not like, no one's perfect. We're all growing, but there is levels. There are levels, and that work you have to do on your own, and continue to grow and continue to be authentic, and let women know up front, who you are, what you're about, how you intend to court, and where you are at that point in your life. And I believe that long-term relationships evolve over time. I think those relationships are earned through consistency, and consistent consciousness, and consistent communication. So I think but I think men just need to give women an opportunity to, hey, if it's just a fun time, all right, state that. Allow her the option to say yes or no.
Absolutely.
That's fine too. Respect that. Respect that and move on. And so, put yourself in a position where you're a high social value male, and you can't be a high social value male without working on yourself. It just doesn't happen. When you're a high social value male, you have options. And just like a woman who's a high social value woman, she has options. And so when you both have options, you can take your time, and you can discern which options are best for you, and what that looks like. And that's, I call that conscious courtship. And that's what I advocate. And it's been working for me. And I encourage people to go to my website, EliahRock.com, get the book. Also, you can get it on Amazon. You want an autographed copy, EliahRock.com. And I look forward to having more discussions about the book. I'm promoting my album right now.
Yes. By the way, your song is beautiful too.
Thank you. So yeah, the album's doing really well on radio, and we're there's so much press is happening around it. So and my variety show is kicking off. So all of these things are infused into the overall Elijah Rock, media brand. But I do talk to my guests on my variety show about these subject matters. And I look forward to launching a podcast at some point where I'll just have conversations with people about the subject matter, and take questions from men and women who are in situations. And look, I'm not saying I'm an expert here, but I am saying that I practice what I write in the book. And I've had incredible experiences, and I have learned from the experiences where I was unconscious, and I was, where I was the purveyor of betrayal, because of how I used to be and not being totally honest. And I saw how I hurt a person, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And so, I learned. So what I'm talking about in the book is the ways in which I've learned, not what not to do, but now what to do. And I've been successful. So that's why I'm sharing this with men and women to understand, okay, there's guys like me that do exist. So anyway.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Elisha. Thank you. Elisha Rock, everybody. Thank you.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, powerful liver support, energy, helps blood sugar regulation, superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.